Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we found out what that mysterious Sega announcement was, and we have some more information about Street Fighter 6 since that state of play last week. We have those topics and more to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so we can keep you up to date with all the latest gaming news. Now let's get started. First, we got another look at Sonic Frontiers. This time it's a focus on the battle system. And as you can see from here, Sonic's kind of fighting this little blob of balls. And Sonic does the traditional losing all of his rings when he gets hit, and I'm assuming that you have to pick those back up in order to keep from dying, so you have at least one ring. Now there's no HUD on this footage. I imagine that's something they're still working on. But so far from the combat, it looks like Sonic can home in on enemies, punch them, kick them, and then do like a circle around them. You can also see some of the enemies are sort of armored here, and I'm not sure if this is going to be what the actual enemies are. These kind of look a little bit generic, and they are sort of robotic looking. Maybe that goes along with something with Robotnik. And it looks like after you defeat an enemy, it drops these little diamond chips here that are blue, and I guess that's something that you pick up and collect. And then in the end, they have this really large enemy here that I guess maybe is supposed to be a boss, and you kind of target these different areas on him to, I guess, eventually take him down. So overall, this looks interesting, but it's kind of hard to tell just by watching some of this footage how easy the controls are, especially with some of the homing in portions. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Does this get you more interested in the game, or are you still kind of like, well, let's wait and see what more footage has to show? And while we're on the topic of Sega games, we had this mysterious announcement from Sega of Japan a few weeks ago that just had that chocolate Genesis controller. Well, we finally found out what that was. Let's take a look at this headline from Gamitsu. Sega Genesis / Mega Drive Mini 2 announced, due out on October 27th in Japan. Now the system is supposed to have around 50 games on it. I've heard some say 50, some say more than 50. And we have 11 titles that did get confirmed. And what's interesting here as we look at these, there's also Sega CD games included. So under the cartridge titles, we have Bonanza Brothers, Fantasy Zone, Magical Chururu 2-kun, I think's how you pronounce it, Shining in the Darkness, Thunder Force 4, and Virtual Racing. And then under the Sega CD titles, we have Mansion of Hidden Souls, Popful Mail, Shining Force CD, Sliphead, and Sonic the Hedgehog CD. And to go along with this, they also have the full tower that you can buy. And of course this is all plastic, but they have the 32X and the Sega CD attachments here. Now the Mega Drive 2 is about 10,000 yen, which is around $80. And then if you want the whole tower attachment, that's going to be about half that, about 4,500 yen. Now I don't think this is coming out in the US because I think they would have announced it at the same time. But you can import this. I think I saw Amazon Japan had it, but then I was hearing they weren't shipping to the US. But I imagine someplace like PlayAsia will have this up for import pretty soon. Since all of these games are in Japanese and there seems to be some pretty good RPGs on here, I'm probably not going to import this because I don't think I'd be able to play any of them. But if you're a big Sega fan, I'd keep a lookout to see if this gets imported from anywhere, especially someplace like PlayAsia. And last week we got more information about Street Fighter 6 coming out of that Sony State of Play, and since then we've had some more information leak. Let's start here with the characters that are going to be in it. We have from left to right, Ryu, Ken, Zangief, Dalsim, E Honda, Blanca, Guile, Chun-Li. Then we have Cammy, DJ, Rashid, June, Ed, Akuma. And then finally we have Luke, Marissa, Jamie, Mimi, Lily, JP, Kimberly, and AKI. Now, this is not going to be an exclusive for PlayStation this year. This one's going to be on both the Xbox Series systems and the PC. However, there will be no Xbox One version, while there does appear to be a PlayStation 4 version. And if you remember when we first had the announcement of Street Fighter 6, we had sort of a controversy about the logo and how this was pulled basically from an Adobe template. In fact, the person who created it offered to sell it to Capcom. Well, it looks like Capcom wasn't buying, so they decided to change the logo up a little bit. So instead of the S and the F in this hexagon form, we now have the 6 in sort of a hexagon form. And I must say, this game looks really, really good. I'm looking forward to playing it. I was a huge fan of Street Fighter 2 when it was out in the 90s, and I know the game's changed a whole lot since then. And I'm still looking forward to this game. I'm hoping it turns out much better than 5 did. And it looks like the PlayStation 5 has crossed a sales mark. We have this story here from Game Industry Biz. PlayStation 5 sales reached 20 million worldwide. Company says it will significantly ramp up production this year. Now, in this article, we have this quote here from Veronica Rogers, who is the head of global sales and business operations for Sony Interactive Entertainment. To those fans who have yet to get their hands on a console, please know we are planning on a significant ramp up in PS5 production this year, and we are working endlessly to make sure that PlayStation 5 is available for everyone who wants one. So it's good that they've sold 20 million units, but they are definitely trailing behind where the PlayStation 4 was. And in this article they add that they think that they will probably exceed the PlayStation 4 after about 4 years. As of right now, I've not really seen any increase in production. It seems like it's still just as hard to get a PS5 now as it was at the beginning of the year. Even Amazon has stopped putting the PlayStation 5 up for sale directly, and you basically have to put yourself into a lottery in order to get a chance to buy one. But who knows, Sony could be trying to work out a similar deal like Microsoft did to try to get priority on chip production. And we have seen a recent redesign listed coming out of Japan, although we don't know how extensive that is. But I would say if we're not seeing a significant increase in product and sales by the end of summer, I don't think they're going to hit their mark. And in a little bit of interesting news, if you remember a while back, we had a build of GoldenEye 007 leak out that was originally built for the Xbox Arcade. And then a few months ago, we saw achievements show up. Well, those achievements seem to have a few people who have gotten them. This is from the website True Achievements, and you can see here that there's already been 2 gamers that got this first achievement, and a lot of the rest of the achievements have at least one person that has gotten it. Now, there's been lots of rumors that Microsoft wants to release this rebuild of GoldenEye 007, but there were some licensing issues with Nintendo. And at one point the rumor was Nintendo would get to add 007 to the Nintendo 64 Online, while Microsoft would get to release this rebuild version. And we do have that Xbox showcase on June the 12th, so it does make me wonder if we'll see an announcement for this remastered version, or was this just someone at Microsoft that was playing around with it and didn't realize they were getting achievements that everyone could see. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? Are you interested in importing this Mega Drive Mini 2? And are you excited for Street Fighter 6 now that we've seen the full cast of characters? Drop a comment about that or anything else we covered today. I want to thank you for watching, and be good.